like coming in and you having your mindset on this one particular thing. Speaking about a coach, he gets fired, have a GM leave throughout the season, have a assistant coach leave out throughout the middle of the season. A lot of those things was definitely a first. A lot of stuff that people on the outside may not understand what we go through internally, what we see every day, the people we got to deal with every single day. To see them here and then all of a sudden see them gone, the aura of so many changes like that could change internally that people don't get to see. So that can make it definitely difficult.
Because of that, just along those lines, does it create, I know hindsight's 20/20, but does it create any regret?
No, I don't regret nothing. I don't regret anything. I don't think you can live life with regrets. You just try to learn from it. No, nobody never want to take the hard road by choice, but that road came, and now what you do with the experience that you gain from it, that's how I kind of view it.
DeMar, this season, obviously, you guys, we're talking about all these changes that took place. On the court, do you think if this team had like a full season, a training camp, to get prepared for a season, do you think this group has the chemistry and the skill set to really compete at a high level, or do you think that some tweaks need to be made?
I mean, tweaks always need to be made to be consistent. I think we had enough to be able to compete, but to do it on a consistent nightly basis, definitely have to be tweaks that need to be made that fit perfectly. Like I said, we competed with the best teams. We beat Boston, we beat Cleveland twice, but on a consistent level, the right tweaks need to be made so you can do it on a consistent basis. So other than that, we got talented guys, we got guys that's competitors, and at the end of the day, it's the NBA. We're going to be able to win games, but to win enough games to put yourself in not just a playing spot, right there tell you tweaks need to be made.
DeMar, I'd like to ask you about Keegan. A little bit of an up and down season for him, like many others. A lot of inconsistencies offensively for him, but obviously we all see the upside for him as a two-way player. Just, I guess, can you just evaluate his season and maybe his ceiling?
Felt like, Keegan came a long way from an aggressive standpoint. I think the second half of the season, he became more aggressive. We kind of pushed him more. I don't think he has a ceiling. I think, his capability is definitely unlimited. I feel like, I hope I get to spend a lot of time with him this summer, just to really push him, to that next level that I think he need, and so you can see the Keegan Murray that everybody expect of him come next year. So, I think for me, that's kind of like my main priority is to be able to spend a lot of time with Keegan this summer.
Malik Monk, how much impact of not having him on the court to play with y'all, and his yeah.
How dynamic Malik is offensively, from being a playmaker, scorer, big shot maker, big shot taker, that alleviates a lot of pressure, off everybody else, whether if it's me, Zach, Keon, Domas. Losing that, you're talking about a guy that could, get you 30 points, a guy who get you 10, 11 assists, a guy that could change the game in a lot of ways with his excitement. Not having that out there those last couple of games, it showed, because a game like last night would have been a perfect game that, we needed the Malik that we've been seeing all season. Yeah, appreciate it. Yep.
Test.
High model recording. High drama. MLB. Oh, I guess that's why I'm so. Billy. He used to be 1984. Big brother. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm doing. So like,
Good morning.
Morning, Domas. If you can just describe the past 12 hours since the loss, the play-in loss, and just what that's been like with the departure of Monte and now the hiring of Scott.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I'm hearing news as the meetings go on. So yeah, I don't have much to say right now. Just trying to take it all in.
Domas, when you look at your future, it's been widely reported that you want to know some answers on where the direction goes within this organization. What factors are you thinking about and considering when you're asking about being in Sacramento long term?
First of all, I want to say I love it here. You know, I want to stay here. I want to win here. I also do want to know what's going to happen. You know, all these things are happening so quick. You know, I want to get together with the new people, whoever comes in, and really try to get this right, and get it back to where it was year one.
Tomas, along those lines, do you want to have a say? Like, if you are in the cards for this going forward, do you want to have an active voice and a say in maybe directions and decisions going forward?
Yeah, I wish, that would be great, to trust some of your guys who've been here longer on how to try and change things around.
I guess along those lines, you just said you're kind of learning of the news as it's happening. Did anybody consult you at all, whether that be with the Monty decision or the hiring or anything like that?
No, nothing at all.
And then can I just ask you about Keegan Murray had a little bit of an up and down season offensively. Obviously, he took on a larger defensive role this year, but how would you just evaluate Keegan's season?
He stayed professional. He stayed working. It's only his third year, and this is probably my craziest year in the league too. So for him to go through that really early, I'm happy he had some good vets around him, that we could help him out and get through the year, and he really embraced his role as it changed throughout the season.
Domas, Doug Christie, you work with him a lot into your home country. Just wanted to get your thoughts on him and the work that he did this season, which was under some really extreme circumstances. He loves the team, he loves the franchise, he loves the city. He's gonna give everything he has, every day, and I feel like that's why we work so good. We were just together in the office talking. If he does get the job, what's gonna happen this summer? Who am I gonna work with and stuff like that. So I love Doug to death. And we'll see what happens.
Domas, we didn't have a chance to ask you last night just your thoughts on last night's game and your personal performance and just the frustration you might have had with the result of last night and how it all went in that second quarter.
I just feel like we had a plan that we practiced, 3 days, and we didn't execute the plan, nor defense or offense, and that was the outcome.
DeMar talked a little bit about the need for some tweaks. Obviously, this team went through a lot of injuries, a lot of changes, ups and downs, and it's understandable that it would be hard to be cohesive on the court. What, in your estimations, do you agree with that there needs to be some tweaks, and maybe where would be a spot that you think?
The biggest thing is we need a point guard. That's for sure. Simple.
Domas, I know it's still raw last night, but how do you guys move forward as a group, and how much do you want to have a stamp on what goes on moving forward?
We just want to get this right. I feel like the locker room, there's a great group of guys who want to really compete, do the right things, put in the work, and wherever this organization wants to go with the next steps that happen over the past couple hours, it's good with us. We just want to be heard, and really know where things are going to go forward.
Domas, you're talking about how you're kind of learning all this as it comes. Are these the kind of things that you would wish that you had more of, that were maybe communicated more with you, or is that just kind of the role of the player in this league, and this is what you guys have to deal with?
I think it's kind of the role of the player in this league. Obviously there are some franchises that do that with some players, but not everybody gets that luxury, which is totally fine. But like I said before, things have just been happening so quick.
Domas, you talk about, kind of being involved in this stuff and talking about how to change things around. What's top of mind for you when you think of how to change things around or make improvements here?
I would say just, this year there was a new coach, knew everything. Changes happen throughout the year, so it's obviously tough to try and fix things together. But if we can organize everything throughout the summer, so going into training camp and season, everybody has a role and a position and a job and knows what to do, that would be very helpful.
Domas, given everything that happened this season, from Mike to Fox being traded and just everything in between, how together has this locker room stayed and this group stayed, and how has that side of this season been?
That side's been amazing. I would say it's probably one of the best locker rooms I've been a part. Guys are great. Guys love hanging out with each other on and off the court, and I have no complaints with that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Birthday's already passed. Oh, okay, sorry. We can't wait a year for this, okay? This is top.
He needs to get on the text book.
Yeah, this is
Text
what? Yes. Here, here's, like, show me the text. Show me the what?
Show me the receipt.
I was like,
Show me the receipt.
I'm like, go, bring your things like that as well with her. Like, I can show you the whole dialogue. Sensitive conversations over here. Here it's certainty. Certainty for me has always been frustrating. Carry you on the show. First, or the comeback.
He's doing like 40. He's doing 40 TV games. He's so smooth. Yeah. So rarely you hear someone who just gets like that. He and Dallas have good chemistry too.
He has better chemistry.
Zach, just would like to know your thoughts on the last 24 hours with Monty being let go and bringing in the new GM. I know that's just pretty fresh on everyone's mind.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff in the NBA. You know, I have been here for 11, going on 12 years. So, you know, it's the nature of the business. You know, things move really fast, and it's what we've grown accustomed to. But, you know, we appreciate everybody that, you know, that's obviously been here and worked with us. I've only been here for so long, and there's been a lot of moving parts. So it's just it's just how the NBA is.
Zach, you have only been here for 25, 30 games. What do you want to see this summer to solidify this team and to make them a bona fide playoff contender and really kind of take the next step forward?
I think you just need to find some consistency. You know, players, coaches, you know, a firm direction of what we want to go into, and guys that want to really go out there and get it. I think that's the only way that, you know, you can do that.
Zach, you talked yesterday, and kind of along the similar lines, but you talked yesterday about how, you know, at any given game, the guys in the locker room feel they can go out and win, you know, and I definitely can appreciate that. But from the perspective of the roster and your style of play, is there anything in particular that you think could help this team with the core of guys you have, but any particular pieces you think could be beneficial?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, roster construction isn't up to the players. You know, we go out there and we play with what we have. Now, obviously, you know, they're making moves to do that. You know, for me, whatever we go out there with it's our job and my job to be prepared and be ready. I've never been somebody to go and be like, we gotta go get this guy or we need this. That's why they get paid their job, and that's why we get paid our money too. So we go out there and play.
Having joined this, Zach, like halfway through or midway through everything that's been going on, I guess what's just been your perspective of the last couple of months and where this organization was at when you joined, where they're at today, and where you see them going with you as a part of it in the future?
I mean, when I joined, it just seemed like they were in a transition period. Obviously, that's why I got brought here for. You know, De'Aaron didn't, you know, want to get out, and, you know, I ended up being here. It's a blessing to be on a team that obviously that you want to be wanted by. You know, when I was in Chicago, I think that just ran its course. I was there for 8 years and have no ill will toward them at all. I think I said that before at my first press conference. But, you know, this city loves basketball. You know, I've known that for a long time growing up in Seattle and watching basketball. This Sacramento fans are some of the best. And, you know, we've seen, at least I've seen that since being here, and how devoted they are. And, you know, as players, especially with the situation I'm in, you want to give them, you know, what they deserve and the product that they deserve. So it's you know, something I'm looking forward to and going into the off season. But it is, you know, we want to go out there and compete and be ready.
And building off of that, Zach, like how much time do you take now to kind of rinse and get rid of the season and relax and refresh? And then when does the work start for next season and your future here in SAC?
Yeah, I mean, this season's been long for me. It's from the trades to my kids. You know, I haven't been able to see my kids in like 5 weeks. So it's just been long. I'll take some time. Obviously, you know, the older you get, I think you appreciate the more time you take off and you start to let your body reset. I used to, right after the season, I'll get right back into it and working out. So I'll definitely take some time, take a little vacation, get back to being a father and a husband. You know, when I get back to Newport, I know my wife will be happy with that. So. But the work, you know, we got to go back and look, you know, individually. I can talk about that is, you know, what I did well and what I can improve on. You know, I think I've done that each and every year of what you can take little bits and pieces of. You know, no one's a perfect player, and you know, at a certain point, you know who you are in the NBA, but there's certain things you can get better at. So, I think I improved on that a lot this last year. You know, I had my most efficient year. You know, 50 something from the field. I damn near led the league in 3-point percentage. So. Being able to come back off an injury like I did where I only played 25 games, I played over 74, 73. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I can take to where, you know, I did good work last year and last summer. I can try to do those same things again.
Zach, too, for you, one, you just alluded to it, just to have the year that you had, to remain healthy, to have a career year shooting-wise, just how gratifying is that as a player to finally be back to where you were?
I wouldn't say it's tough when you go through injuries, you know, because no one wants to have them, you know, and you know, I ended up having to have surgery on my foot last year, and it's fun to get back to knowing what you're supposed to do, you know, even if it's 1 year removed or people doubt you or, you know, that's what fans and media like you guys are for, is to almost help us out a little bit, you know, so it's always fun, but I know the person I am, the player I am, and you know, that shouldn't change for a while.
And then second one is contract-wise, 2 years left. You have a player option.
Yeah.
Do you consider putting that player option to form? Do you look at an extension at this place, or you go with the contract the way it is right now?
I'm very happy with, you know, where I'm at right now, and where, you know, the team that just, you know, traded for me obviously is some of the team that values me, you know, so that's something I've always put very high. You know, even when I was in Chicago, they showed me the love of granting me that contract. I didn't have to go out to free agency and go get that. You know, and with being here, if this is going to be an organization that's going to build with, you know, with me and with us, and we're going to go in the right direction, you know, why wouldn't I want to be in a great place like this? So, yeah, I mean, from what I've seen in these 35 games, even if we didn't end the season the way we wanted to, you know, I'd be crazy if I didn't say I wouldn't want to be in Sacramento.
Zach, looking forward then to a future here potentially. You know, how do you feel about playing with Domas and you know, maybe some of the chemistry that you guys were able to develop, and can you kind of walk us through kind of that process of just learning to play with a big like him, and whether you feel like you guys started to kind of piece some things together?
Yeah, I think it's always tough because you know, going from, you know, Domas has had the ball in his hands, you know, throughout his tenure here with Sacramento, and you know, you guys have been pretty good. Obviously, made the playoffs 2 years ago, but you know, De'Aaron was a very ball-heavy guy, but didn't run a ton of pick and rolls. You know, it was a lot of handoffs, and you know, me coming from Chicago, where it was more pick and rolls and less handoffs, because you know, a guy like Vooch is such a good pick and pop big. You know, you have to figure out what works and what doesn't. And Domas is so great at creating. He makes everybody else's game so much easier because he can get you open shots. He's a hell of a screener. You got to find out how, you know, what works best for both of your guys' game. I think later on in the season we started getting our, you know, that DHO game a lot better. But I think anything with just time can help. You know, me and Domas played with 12 games, 15 games together. As much as we all wanted it to work out, you know, that fast, that's just not the reality of it. It's not 2K, you know. So you need to have a training camp. You need to have preseason. You need to have an off season. As pros, we're supposed to come in here and get it done, and that's what we try to do. But, you know, in all reality, I think with time and off season and a training camp, that it'll be great.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Malik, two questions for you. The first one, obviously, the end of the season didn't go the way you wanted to, being hurt and things like that, but you average more points, rebounds, assists than you have at any point in your career. For you personally, the development of your game, how do you feel that went this year for you?
Like you said, I average career highs in points, rebounds, assists, minutes played, so that's a plus for me. I feel like I get better every year. Now I just got to stay healthy.
Yeah. And obviously, when you signed your contract last offseason, things looked a lot different here. Different GM, different head coach. Fox was here. Is this the place you still want to be, or are you having to evaluate those things?
I'm all in. I'm all in. Yeah, no questions. Don't question that.
Malik, second straight year, man, that you were ended the season on an injury report, not able to play in that play-in. Just frustration-wise that you weren't able to play in those past two games for play-ins.
Yeah, it's terrible to end the season on the bench, not helping your team, especially when you know you can. So yeah, it's tough to watch that, man. But it's a bright future for us. I feel like, especially with the down year we had this year. I feel like it only can go up. This year been crazy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next year.
So you joke with us all the time that you've been through a lot in this league. Have you seen
Not shit like this?
No?
Nothing at all. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like this before.
Malik, when you talk about that, what this year's been like, describe the past 24 hours as well when you tack on that to, of course, the year.
That just explains the year for us. That explains it well for us. But it's the business we in. You got to live the next day and the next day and the next day after that, and try to be better. And I feel like that's what we're going to do.
You mentioned feeling like there's a bright future with this team. Just from your perspective, where do you sort of see that?
Better than this.
Malik, a couple questions for you. First one, take me back to 2 years ago and Beam Team 1. What about that time do you think this organization or team needs to recapture and bring into next season?
It's a lot that played into the Beam Team 1. It was a lot of people hurt in the West. A lot of teams was hurt. We were new. They didn't know what we were doing. So I really can't pinpoint what we need to do. Obviously, it's win more games. But yeah, I just feel like we got to come out here with pride every night, especially in front of this home crowd. And I'm gonna do my best to preach that.
And in addition to all the changes the organization went through, you yourself from six-man to starting to point guard responsibilities, just walk me through all the changes to your game and your role that you had to go through. And do you think there is a ideal role for you out of those three?
That's a good question. 4. I went back to the bench when I came back too, man. I had to be 4 different players this year. But I wasn't complaining. It was the hand I was dealt. So I was just doing what needed to be done. And yeah, I don't know what role I'll play next year. I felt more comfortable starting at the 2. That was I felt like I was flowing in. I love that role. But it's whoever the next coach is, whether it's DC or somebody else, whatever they want me to do. I'm gonna be 100% in with that.
Malik, this is the second summer you're going into injured. Just where are you at health-wise? How long do you think it's going to take you to get back to a full program?
Yeah, it was nothing like last year. This was a little slight. I feel like I'm probably about another two weeks out from going full. So yeah, probably quicker than that because I'm gonna take a little break, then be back. So probably like a week. But yeah, I feel good right now though. Walking fine, no, nothing's hurting. So yeah, it's good for me.
Malik, you said with tremendous amount of confidence you're all in. What makes you say that with such confidence about the situation?
I signed here for because I felt home. I felt at home. They treat me like home. Everybody's welcoming. Fans are crazy. Love that. Why not be all in?
Malik, You guys had a period of like stability and some continuity here, you know, for a couple years with, you know, a coach in place, a front office, a roster that you know, kind of stayed the same. Like, how important is that to you guys? We've heard some of you speak to just the craziness and the chaos of this year. Like, how important is it that you guys get back to some stability and some continuity here?
Yes, I feel like NBA players, we go off routine. And stability, I feel like, is a part of routine. And when you tweak that a little bit, something can happen. So, yes, it's always good to have stability in life, man. I feel like, because if you're going up and down, life is not it's not fun. So having stability, it just make it level out and make everything go smoother. So, I feel like we need that for sure.
Yeah, Malik, you just received that community award for for your contributions. Just want you just mentioned you want to come back because of the community. How special really is that for you? Because I don't know if you experienced that in your other two stops before you got here, but the community has gravitated towards you and your character and the love too. So just what's your true thoughts about that?
Like I said, man, it feels like home. They treat me like Arkansas. A lot of love. Everywhere I go, everybody say what's up to me. Don't bombard me. Don't over ask me with questions. Don't over crowd my space. So it's like home, man. And it's always good to get back to home. And like I say now, SAC is my home. So why not be a part of the community? Why not go out and do things, toy drives and things I do, have camps. So yes, it's great. It's a great feeling.
Same class, same. Okay. Right now, it's still processing.
I could walk over there and I could see that it's fine, but then someone else could come in and start doing work in there. I don't want you to start getting, whenever things happen.
And then Deuce has the fucking nerve to question it like 3 minutes later. When he said his all in, and he questioned it.
You should have asked him, did they put that on the t-shirt?
Oh, yeah, the mountain climber that came in. Yeah. Yeah, they talked to Mike brought in some mountain climbers before the season started. It was like they're climbing together, I think. No, it was this.
Have you ever volunteered?
Yeah, that was really smart.
Keegan, can you just describe the past 24 hours for you guys, especially after the play-in loss and then all the events that have happened after?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a whirlwind of a season, and the last 24 hours is no different. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough to kind of not think about, but just internalize right now and stuff like that. So you just have to move on. And obviously, I'm glad Maya took a chance on me when he drafted me. So,
Yeah, Keegan, I don't know, how would you describe this season for yourself? I mean, I know just personally, was it a disappointing season that you didn't take another leap forward, or was it just circumstantial, or where does this sort of sit with your maturation as a player?
no, I'm not disappointed. I think, especially defensively, I took a really big leap. Being able to guard 1 through 5 effectively is really hard in the league. There's not many people that can do it. But obviously, offensively, you want to be a little bit better and things like that. But there's not really an excuse or anything. It's just putting my head down and still working. Work harder this summer, just figure out different things.
Keegan, building off of that and the defensive responsibility that you took on this season, no, you're not making any kind of excuses or anything like that. There seems to be on this roster, and there has been a lack of depth specifically at your position to help you with those defensive responsibilities. Is that something that in an ideal world you hope to have corrected, or you just worried about what you do?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I don't want to be guarding the 5-man every game. It's not the most fun thing in the world. But if I have to do it, I have to do it, regardless of who's on our team, who's not. But, I mean, at the end of the day, team defense wins championships and things like that. And with Dallas, they got a lot of guys that can defend their position really well. And you see how effective they were last night with that. So,
Keegan, you're extension eligible this offseason. How much do you think about that and consider that with where the franchise is at, and what factors do you think contribute to looking at that?
yeah, I mean, I haven't thought too much into it, to be honest, with everything that's going on this year. But, I mean, obviously, I want to be in Sacramento. It's where I was drafted, things like that. So, just, I guess, have talks and stuff and talk to my agent, see what's going on, and figure it out from there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
You seem to have a really good relationship with not only De'Aaron, but Mike. Just what kind of was it like for you to go through the changes that happened this year? And did it make it difficult at all to still just focus on the basketball throughout the whole thing?
I think, yeah, with Mike, honestly, we had a good relationship my first couple of years here. And I know he's still in good spirits and things like that. And Fox, I mean, obviously he's been here for 7 years, things like that. I still talk to him pretty much every week, and but we've continued our relationship. And obviously it's tough losing him, but at the end of the day, that's the business of the league, and just have to move forward and just obviously wishing the best for both of them.
Keegan, first of all, how is the wedding planning going? Are you taking part in that, or are you letting Carly kind of take the reins?
Nah, I've been sitting in the meetings, but she's been doing pretty much most of it. So I'm going to help out a little more since the season's over. But yeah, it'll be later on this summer, so we're excited for it.
Congrats again on that. And then DeMar just talked about his number one priority this offseason is getting to work with you and just pushing you. How much are you looking forward to that, and just what's your relationship been like with him this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously since he signed later in the summer or whatever happened, I wasn't really able to go down with him in LA. But I've already talked to some guys, and I feel like we're gonna have a lot of guys down there. Just being able to finally, as a team, get together and work out, and just try and build chemistry that way. I think the biggest thing too is just having those dinners or doing things outside of basketball too. Then on the court, everything just seems seamless. But I mean, he's been in the league for a while, and whatever I can do to learn from him, especially offensively, will just help me with more dimensions in my game. So,
Keegan, two things. One, do you feel like you have a position where you feel most comfortable and natural? Would it be the 3, the 4?
Yeah, I mean, anywhere on the wing, I feel pretty good.
Okay. And you know, and tell me if you disagree with this, but you've been asked to be a different player each year that you've been here in some aspect. Like, do you feel like that's been beneficial for you in rounding out your game, or you know, maybe in some ways detrimental, or maybe even both?
I mean, yeah, I've obviously had to fill roles within the team. Now that I think about it every year. So with me, I think eventually it'll pay off. And I know that eventually good things are going to happen, things like that. So I'm not worried about anything. I know my time's going to come, and whether it's next year or a couple years after, I know eventually it'll be my time.
Keegan, kind of going back to what we were discussing a second ago, with your development on the defensive end, definitely been well documented. On the offensive side, has it been difficult just with all the players on the roster? losing your point guard, trying to figure out how to run the offense. Has it been difficult to find your place in the offense, do you think? And do you think that's something that can be fixed next season, or do you think you need to just have some more of a overtly prominent role in order to be able to do that?
No, I think in a way it's been difficult just because, especially my first years, we're just so used to the DHO game, the split action, and just all guys kind of moving at the same time, and you never know who's going to get the shot. So, but yeah, I guess a little bit it's been difficult, but at the end of the day, it is who we have on our roster, and we have to make it work if we want to have success. So.
Keegan, yes, it has been a topsy-turvy season, to say the least. But is there anything that you see, that could be improved organizational, structure-wise, to improve some of those, or do those things do not bother you? You're just here to play basketball.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been in the league, I've learned that it's a business. Like you've seen this year, there's been a lot of people, whether it's coaches, GMs, assistants, or whoever it is, get fired and things like that. So there's things changing each year, and I think with us in Sacramento, it's just kind of been like a all at once kind of thing. So for me, I'm not too worried about who's in the front office, things like that. I really just want to focus on myself and how I can better our team moving forward, and have those atmospheres where we're in the playoffs and playing in big games again.
Keegan, you talk about guarding 1 through 5 this year. How physically taxing was that for you, and have you had to adjust how you go about preparing for games, just treating your body and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, especially this year, just having to be in the weight room a little more, whether that's for just maintenance, whether that's for a real lift, things like that. And then I feel like I took my recovery a lot more, just knowing that there wasn't going to be a game where I'm just guarding a shooter or anything like that. I'm going to be on the primary defender no matter who it is. So there's a lot more I did, especially scouting-wise, learning guys' tendencies as much as I could, because I've never really experienced guarding 5s even in college. So yeah, it was definitely a learning curve for sure. All right. Thank you. Yeah. We'll see. Thank you.
Little guys like this, it'll be a long ride. Where's it going? Well, yeah. I get that.
A centerpiece or something.
We were there, but not.
No, for sure.
All right, Brian.
It's fun. It was fun the time I felt it. It was like the whoa, like the walls were moving, but not like I changed who I am as a person.
I went to a wedding and did some a few months ago. Went to Berkeley, like, he has like a guitar string. So it was like playing like a guitar string. And I was like, no, I can't walk. This feels weird. Because I think I'm a little sore. You ruptured your Achilles? Well, I think I strained it or something. It just in my head, it was like, I was imagining like a guitar string. Like it was like moving and so I went outside and I was like, it looked like Pirates of the Caribbean. I was exposed to wooden so calm. I'm like, you can hear like, shut up, man. Hey, if you're in control, double up that dose. You should have doubled up that dose. There for an hour, I felt a lot better. Started out. Shoots up. I can't do that anymore. Not for a while. Unfortunately. You shut up, dude. I see that look.
Juice, you had that right now?
Oh, boy. Juice, we'd love to hear from you.
I've seen him in Mo, bowling at that.
Are you a double steal first, third drop? Something you think this guy's really serious?
We did play trio. Yeah, Warzone coming soon. I'm downloading it today. I'm downloading it today.
I just don't think, I think you and Matt will have a great old time. Alright.
I don't know if there's like
It's April, I put a date on it. I have before. All of you. Never really did enough.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I'm just still on the loose.
Yeah, we were well. I ran a fog machine. I didn't know you were over there. I'm like, who is this guy? It sounds like he's
not paying attention to you.
It's not great though. No, I don't. I'm just saying, we were playing more but I have a feeling it's just gonna be you guys. Oh, really? Yeah. No. You're low. I know, I get
Hey Trey, how are you?
I'm all right.
Kind of an up and down season for you. I know 2 years ago we kind of went through the same thing where you're going into the summer as a free agent. Just where are you at with this organization and what your experience has been like and sort of this season in a nutshell?
I'd say this season in a nutshell has been a roller coaster. Just from teammates leaving, teammates coming in, coaches leaving, coaches coming in, that type of thing. It was a pretty up and down season for myself. And like I just told Doug, I feel like when I got more minutes or consistent minutes, my game was consistent. When it wasn't consistent, I wasn't consistent. So that's just where it was. Going into games not knowing if I was going to play, not knowing how much I was going to play sometimes, sometimes being told I wasn't going to play. So just all over the place with that. As a player, it's hard to, stay consistent with all those things going on. I think, I mentioned it the other day, I think our group showed some resilience there at the end. And we could have just given up and took 3 more losses and went into some tough environments and got a couple wins. Obviously, didn't end how we wanted it to, but I think it just kind of, fed into our season as an up and down season. So,
Trey, I know that Beam Team 1 year was pretty special and pretty unique, and every season has its own set of whatever. What from that year and that team and the joy that you played with or the environment or whatever do you think needs to be recaptured by this organization going forward, or if you were to stick around, what you would like to see return from that first year?
I think that first year was very unique. I think everybody was excited to play. Everybody was excited to be together. And we just kind of went out there and we just ran. I think we just ran, for 48 minutes. We just ran. We knew up, down, whatever, we were going to go out there and run. I think we did the best that we could with our team. I just think we kind of got away from that free-flowing running pace and just going out and trying to shoot more threes than you, trying to get more up and down than you, and we just kind of got away from that.
What were your thoughts on sort of the changes that took place mid-season here? Obviously the De'Aaron and Mike thing, and then the job that Doug has done since.
It was surprising for me. You're going to the airport and then your coach is fired after a practice. So, I think everybody was a little caught off guard by that. I think Doug did a good job with what he was given and that time frame that he had on trying to get guys to buy in. And his first experience as coaching, I think he would say it too. It's tough. I don't think he asked anything from this team that we couldn't give him. And yeah, we were just a very inconsistent up and down season for us.
Thanks.
funny. Harpens. Judge went on talking, talking to and he was like, yeah, it's gonna be, we're going into the away clubhouse. I know the home clubhouse really well, and I got no idea what the away clubhouse is like. And the fact that we know the stadium, yeah, it's gonna be great. On the look there too, Judge lives in Tampa. Also saying, it's like, I have no comments. I have a lot of left. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. No, we were talking, it's like, I said, I was like, oh, your best friend came to me and saying your face is like pretty synced up on your haircut schedule. And he's like, yeah, usually when Bruce does it, you can do it 24 to 40 afterwards. And I was like, how's he doing? What's he feeling? Yeah, he was freaking out about his number. Well, when he called me, it was like, it sounded like when he was whistling. Talking to me. Talk to him? Yeah. Yeah. Not lying. I was literally missing. No, that was freaking out. Got his name a lot.
Other name dropping people?
No, I'm not name dropping people, it's just like commonality. The other funny thing is, you know, that person that follows her on Instagram. That's the great. Jello? Yeah. Jello. That's it. That's what that was the team this morning. Like they're just gonna run the trip. Came back. It was? That's a good shot. It does. It helps. So, it looks like he's ripping.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, who could not? That's right. Yeah, the guy who's playing pickup. And he hits a three. I wish my career had. Mine are. Shit, I was trying to get you in trouble. Yes, definitely not great. Great. I'd love to watch great.
Five.
It's like 3 months from now, right? Something like that. I don't know what I'm doing today. The annual check, the Yeah, for today, yeah. Yeah. They literally. Thanks for your job.
I just said the same thing. Hey, that's what we would say, we could use the help, sure, but we don't get it. I'd love to though. He's a great kid, he's just like, I don't know if he can take it, right? I had nothing wrong with it, I was like, oh, I was like, okay, well, and then he kept me up 2 months later. Everything, I promise you, if you get on my list. Tax aid, together now, like, all hard work, I got football sometimes, and like,
We should do it.
I'd be so good, that'd be a great thing. I'll go first. I drove,
Frank, you guys kids been right through the season. I felt like, you know, you laughed and everything kind of went to shit. Do you take responsibility for that? The kid.
I'm actually gonna be taking off pretty soon.
So, buckle up.
Frankie, yeah, Giant series. Yeah, we have anything there to look at? We still have 5.
See you guys the next time. See you tomorrow potentially.
Yes, yes.
Tomorrow.
Yes. Do we get a sneak peek? It wasn't a no.
It was not a yes either.
Is the internet just, we'll have to before Sunday.
On Sunday?
Before Sunday.
Oh, I was like, on Sunday, Easter, come on.
Before Sunday.
First.
Do I book my flights for the weekend? No. That's the thing. Probably not, right?
Morning or afternoon? Afternoon?
No, I mean,
It's on a little table.
That's what we do today.
See where he got that table.
Yeah, that's what I do for the A's, the little, on the chairs.
Yeah, that's really cool. Especially if it has a beer holder.
I know, I have full confidence, full faith.
I mean,
I know it's all top secret.
I mean, that thing doesn't
Little
say
chair?
it doesn't work, yeah.
It's too, I think it's too flimsy. It's better than nothing for sure.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
But it's kind of like you put a laptop on there, it's kind of like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. How are you?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Anybody that doesn't have parking, here you go. Thank you.
Have it on the, contact over.
I just took him.
No, no, that's totally fine. I thought everyone already had them.
No.
They were getting them out at the beginning.
She said she was not around.
Oh, apologies. Yeah, sorry, guys. We're all coming late. All right.
See, they copied me.
I swear, some of, did anybody get them?
I got one.
I swear, you got this.
I got one from Mike gave me
No,
one.
Kerry, when we came in, it said something. You don't have them yet. Or you will have them.
I
So,
swear, Michael was passing out. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, he passed them out.
well, I guess only.
I swear I haven't been one of them.
It's all.
Make all of you.
I think we're down to like 80.
Ulterior motives.
You're losing us here. It's like a kindergarten class. Little league practice.
I was
You
passing.
only
I
have
didn't know
one
you needed one. So.
Kids are sitting.
Uh-huh.
It's the photo one.
I know.
That team photo.
Yeah, what is it?
Lose half the players. Yes.
Wonderful, thanks. You did the best, okay?
That was like locker room. Back out. He's another home run today. Especially the Zach one. Did I not just say that?
Well, I was over there like just talking about other stuff.
I don't even know. I just found these in my bag when I was looking for them.
would take these seriously.
I think I got them at the Clippers game a month or two ago. They're good though. Sorry if I'm crunching.
No, the chili content was pretty good.
Oh yeah, you were doing it.
Yeah, that's a nice setup.
Yeah. You probably didn't even see
No, I saw the little room
the little break room.
on the golf
like,
course. That was awesome.
And that's where I think I raised it.
Yeah, it's nice. You have a restroom up there, water
Right outside where.
literally right there. And then if you want to take the short walk, you have that.
Always said at least in the. The precinct. Oh, that's right, it did that, yeah.
With a ball.
Oh, yeah.
Hours.
Literally, you guys have like spot in the stadium that's like reserved for you guys.
Oh, people would, make it.
guys look?
I think Devin, Jake. Yep, Keon, Jonas, Jake, Devin, and Isaac.
Animated character.
Get rid of those characters.
Everybody out.
Yeah. Right, it's like.
Oh, that's weird.
They're gone. They have like a spray.
Oh, that's lame.
I know. It's the mouse bullshit. The mouse still comes out. Yeah. Arden, like, across the street.
Oh, no, that's probably where it was.
Yeah. I don't even understand why, like, because they have no idea. They just like. Is this? Where is this? Oh, okay.
It's like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really not gonna have a birthday party and then all of the
Yeah. Birthday. I wonder if anyone was a known or a doubters type thing.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Gotta be. Have everyone bring their.
Yeah.
And then. Awesome, it fills all.
Oh, those are great. And whoever takes up the most.
That's true.
It's early June.
Oh, God. It's his big mom.
Oh, that's not.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I remember there wasn't. I looked at like the game. And they say you have to be 6 and older to go. Oh, there's 5. And 6 that day.
How are we doing, Keon?
I'm good. How about yourself?
It's been 24 hours.
It has.
I would love for you to speak on that. Just your reaction to what happened last night with Monty being let go and the possibility of a new GM coming in, and just speak to the volatility of the season if you can.
I mean, yeah. When Doug told me, it's kind of crazy. I mean, the whole season's been crazy, but it's just not something that I really thought about to expect it. I don't know. I was really still thinking about the game and everything, and so to see that, it was just kind of another thing that is on your mind at the moment after the game. And as far as the season, obviously didn't end the way that we wanted to, and or the whole season as itself kind of didn't really flow the way we expected. So, definitely some challenges ahead. So we'll have to be better on that.
Keon, you have a complicated salary cap situation with your contract this summer. Just how do you kind of hope that this plays out? You can either be a restricted free agent or you can be an unrestricted next summer, but what are your thoughts on what your contract situation is and how long, whether you'd like to be back in Sacramento?
Honestly, I don't know. I'll leave all that up to my agent and, let him do his job on that one. But, definitely would love to be back. I hate moving to, the fans here are great. I think the I would say hype or, the love that the fans have gave me since I've been here. And, this is where I started out at. Everything's been great. So, it would definitely be good to remain here for sure.
Keon, another season for you where you've just further cemented, I guess, yourself in this league as an NBA player. Does this exit interview, this going into this offseason, feel any different from the last couple? And how, I guess, confident are you or comfortable are you in who you are as an NBA player, whether it's for this organization or anywhere in this league?
Yeah, I do feel that I'm further along in my career at this point than last year. I feel like I've accomplished more, and I'm on my way to being a better player each year. So, and I think, what was the second part of your question?
How, I guess, are you in?
Right. Yeah, and I'm very. I think I'm comfortable in my role and in the position that I've kind of put myself in, but you never want to, really assume those things because, you just never know how things can shape up for you. So, but definitely felt like I've had a good year for myself and other teams have taken notice and our team has as well. So, yeah, definitely happy with that.
Do you have any particular thing this summer that you want to work on or any particular point to your game that you kind of want to develop more? Obviously you talked about, the pretty big steps you've taken each season, but anything in particular you want to work on?
Well, this year, this has been the most that I've been put at the point guard spot. So, and that just consists mostly of just, kind of initiating and just getting the ball to where it needs to go. So I think just taking that next step in that would probably be initiating even more, and whether it's coming off to score now or whatever that next step is within the offense. So I think that'll probably be a big emphasis on my development in the summer. But I think just keep sharpening the tools, continuing to work on my shot and get better at that. So those are some of the things.
Kieran, can you speak a little bit about, just the job Doug did after he took over? And I guess specifically, I'm curious, your assessment of him in terms of the leadership side of being a coach, and then also, the basketball side, drawing up plays and doing the more of the intricate X's and O's type stuff.
I think he did a good job for us. When he came in, he tried to keep it real simple for us. We have some really talented players on our team, so just try not to overdo anything and let us go out there and be pros. So definitely didn't want to do too much. Kind of let us get to our spots, and we all know the reads that should be made, where the ball should go, the way we need to play. And I think far as his professionalism and his leadership, I think that's a big thing when you're talking about Doug. I mean, former player, you know, he has the respect from everyone, and I think he's telling us the right things, game in, game out, practice, whatever. You know, the messages that he's given us are either the ones that you don't want to hear or the tough ones that, you know, we need to hear. So, you know, just keeping it real with us. And I think, you know, if you have that, you know, you're not going into any game and he's not telling you something that it's not going to be. So I think he did a good job at that. And, you know, those are the things that you need.
Keon, Malik talked about being 4 different players this season with all the moving parts, and your role kind of changed a little bit really since you've been a part of this organization. Just how difficult was that for you, finding a consistent role, and I guess how would you assess your overall season?
I don't think it was really difficult for me because, I mean, like I said before, you never really want to assume like that you have something locked in as far as like position or whatever and minutes and all that. But I just know I never really got mad at myself or questioned anything when I knew when I was out there that I was doing the right things. So, you know, whatever my time looked like, I wasn't really too worried about it because I knew it would have to come back full circle. So, I mean, and then the year, for myself, I think I had a good year. I mean, I don't really set too many goals or anything, but I think for the things that I accomplished and the level that I played at, I think I definitely made another step in my game for sure.
And then just being the defensive-minded player that you are, Keegan took a big leap in that department this season, but kind of struggled to find an offensive groove throughout the year. I guess how would you evaluate his season and just maybe his ceiling from your point of view?
I mean, Keegan's ceiling is really high. I mean, you know, I mean, everyone's going to have their struggles for sure. So I think, you know, with us having a couple of different looks as to what our team is going to look like and, you know, the way we're going to play, you know, that can cause a little bit of struggles. But I mean, you know, we still have the utmost faith in Keegan's offensive ability. So, and then on the defensive end, we know the defense, the level of defense he's able to play. So, I mean, the ceiling, we're definitely excited for him to reach that. And I'm trying to think of the last part of what you. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Keon. And speaking of Malik, I know you guys, you know, missed him, you know, these past few weeks. Just wanted to get your thoughts on, you know, him not being out on the court with you guys and playing with him overall, because you've been around him for the last 2 or 3 seasons right now.
I mean, yeah, for him to kind of go down for the last bit of the season, definitely tough for us. I mean, he's a main piece to what we're doing here. So you definitely want to have him out on the court with us. And I mean, you know, the energy that he plays with isn't really the same as the energy that he has on the bench for us. You know, we would like to use that on the court more than we want to hear him talking on the sideline. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely tough for us to lose him towards the end. And was there a second part to that?
Yeah, overall, you know, playing with him for the last 2 seasons.
I mean, well, Malik, yeah, when I first came in, Malik was like my vet. So, you know, he was the one telling me about everything and, you know, kind of coaching me off the court, if you will. So definitely got love for him for that. You know, I mean, he showed me a lot of things and just the way that he goes about it. I mean, I love playing with him. He's selfless, good guy to be around, real funny. And I think, you know, he keeps it real with you too. So, you know, when I'm out there, if I'm doing bad, he'll tell me I'm doing bad. If I'm doing good, he'll tell me I'm doing good. So, I think I love the way that he keeps me held accountable for what I'm doing out there, and he expects the same of him. So.